Really? Just kidding. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me on this one? It's a little bit quieter. What about this one? Sound good? Do you need a white balance too?
Good, can't hurt.
I got you. Full service up here. They don't have anybody here, so we'll just go.
Thank you.
I'd just say, I was proud of our girls' effort in the second half. I felt like in the first half we were a little passive. In the second half we got a little bit more aggressive. Um, it was little disappointed in our rebounding in that first half, and really challenged our players. And I thought they came out and did a nice job, not giving up any points on second shot opportunities in the second half, and that was a big key of emphasis for us offensively. Again, I thought we did a nice job moving the ball. I think our spacing's good. Having a hard time finishing shots the last couple games, which isn't really indicative of the way these girls play, and they get a lot of shots up outside of practice. So not a big concern. I guess I'm more pleased with our ball movement and just our unselfishness on the offensive end.
Bree, after both of the exhibition games here, Coach came in and talked about a real concern about defensive intensity. You obviously have stepped that up some since then. That looked like something that was pretty strong tonight. What do you think of the defensive effort from your teammates tonight?
Yeah, I think like Coach said, we just lacked getting offensive or defensive rebounds. That's something that we're just gonna get better at each day and just keep progressing from here.
It seemed like you guys had a little trouble getting your offense flowing coming out of the gates. Were there any adjustments you guys made, or was it just kind of getting into the flow of the game?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, it seemed like you guys, your offense was moving a little slow coming out of the gates in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys make any adjustments, or was it just getting into the flow of the game?
I think I think it's we're just not knocking down shots that we typically have been able to knock down in the past, and good for our girls to continue to stay focused on the defensive end. And we've talked a lot in the locker room about not wanting our offense to dictate our defense, and that's something that we really challenge our players on day in and day out. And we've got a lot of different players that can knock down shots, and eventually I think they got into a little bit better flow. I think early on in these non-conference games, when you don't have a lot of film on each other and there's a lot of new players to everybody's rosters, sometimes it takes a few minutes out of the gates to adjust to how teams are going to play you. But I think a big part of that right now is we just got to continue to get in the gym outside of practice, keep getting a lot of repetition in our shooting. We've got a great shooting team, and just every team's going to have their nights.
What do you say about the way you guys kind of moved the ball around and kind of opened up the opportunity for shots? What do you guys have to say about it?
I think like when we get it inside to our post, it opens up the outside a lot. So that's something that we work on each day. Just trying to get it inside and then work out and get those open shots on the outside, or the post up and just go to the rack.
Morgan, obviously the team's going very deep, just kind of seeing in some of these non-conference games what you've got with some of the different players, but it just seems like in all of the times that we've seen these freshmen play, C's going to come along a little bit more slowly, I think, just because of the level that she's been playing at, but you've got some really terrific play just night in and night out from Jordan and Kayla. Can you just talk a little bit about what they're adding to the roster?
I think they're both adding a lot to our team. Jordan's athleticism is helping us a lot, and then Kayla just likes to get down and play hard. And I think they're really helping us out with inside game and everything. And then C is good on offense too. She knows how to score and everything.
One more real quick. Bree, while we've got you here, we're getting a little bit more time. I guess she's starting to feel a little bit better from Tanea. Get her completely healthy and talk of what she could add to this team.
I think she'll be a great asset to the team. One thing Coach talked about is just the depth that we have as a team. So it'll just give us more players to put out there on the court and work together. Thanks.
Good job, you guys.
Ron, when we talked about concentration when shots aren't falling as it applies to defense, but I'm looking at a player, and we've talked about her becoming more complete, but a player that's still pretty much known as being a great shooter who didn't score a point tonight, but from the guard position pulled down 9 rebounds. What's that tell you about Morgan and her play today?
She's just such a team player, and I think she's done a great job of not forcing shots. She puts in as much time as anybody on her team in the gym, and you're going to have nights like that. But I think her big challenge going into this year, she just didn't want to be known as a shooter. She wanted to be, somebody that can create shots off the dribble. She wanted to be a great passer. She wanted to be productive on the defensive end, be assignment correct. And, I think that shows great maturity on her end. Somebody that works so hard at her craft, and when shots aren't falling, for her to be able to maintain her focus and be a great teammate and not put her head down and get self-absorbed, but continuing to find a way to help her teammates have success. I think it speaks volumes about who she is and her character and her maturity level.
31 bench points for you guys. How big of an advantage is that to have someone potentially come off the bench, anyone that just kind of light a spark for you guys when you guys are struggling a little bit to start?
Mm-hmm. I think that's something we'll find ourselves counting on quite a bit this year. We do have a lot of weapons that I think can come off the bench and really ignite an offense for us. I guess a challenge really from a coaching standpoint is figured out who's that going to be on what night. And again, I don't know that we've had one player that has, the clear-cut front runner for that 3 spot. Morgan I is going to knock down shots, and she's going to be consistent night in and night out. But I think we have a lot more depth than we have in the past. And I think each kid brings something different to the table. But even at our post position, you got Kayla McDowell coming off the bench, and TJ and Michelle didn't get in tonight, but Michelle does some nice things for us. And you've got a number of guards that you can rotate in, and you can rotate 2, 3, 4 players in at a time. And I think if we want to continue to apply that full court pressure, to have that depth and that rotation is going to be key for us. It also makes practices a little bit more competitive. Everyone's working for a spot and minutes every day.
I would say it kind of provides a challenge for the starters, these current starters right now, because they know they can't step up. There's someone on the bench that
Absolutely, and I think our girls are becoming more and more aware of that, and I think that's a very healthy competition that we have within our team. Everybody wants more minutes, everyone wants more playing time, but again, we've got, I'm just so proud of our team for a lot of different reasons, and I know it's early in the season, but just that chemistry and commitment they have to each other and what's on the front of their jersey. They compete hard day in and day out in practice, but when that ball goes up and the lights go on, it's 100% all about Mizzou. Thanks, you guys.